again, young Star Trek fans. Got another build for you today. This one is really different. Very strange ship. It's the Angelou class from the 32nd Century Federation. And it's been known as the Flying Rainforest. That's right. This is a starship that has a rainforest in it. So today I'm going to show you how to make the Angelou class. First thing I've started with is just a plastic lid, and I cut out the center, and to do that I had to, to use the scissors, I had to cut here. Again, be careful with sharp scissors. But basically what's going to happen is I'm going to put this down on here, and then there's going to be a circle cut out of the middle so that there's really going to be a hole. The ship is kind of shaped like a giant donut. That's one way of thinking about it. But first we need to put down, we need to glue this down, and I'll probably make the hole first, and then glue it down. And then it's got like this extension that goes to the back, kind of like, it looks like a bridge. And there's also an actual bridge. And then the bridge, the control center, is near the front. And then there's a what looks like some kind of new kind of warp engine off the back. But we'll get to all that. First thing I want to do is I want to get this the circle cut out, and then this ring glued on, and then we'll move from there. Okay, well, I've cut the hole in our donut, and now it's time to glue the lid down. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, and now I have the rim of this lid that I cut out from a plastic lid. And so I've just got the rim, and that's all I want. Now we're going to have to, I'm gonna go through my Greebly box and see if I can find something that works well as a bridge, actual bridge that people walk on, and the bridge in the front, which is the control center. So we'll be looking through there as well. I'm gonna go look through it, see what I can find. Okay, well, I haven't attached these yet, but I did find two pieces. The one on the left, I found from one of those model, the trees that you take the model pieces off of, and I just snapped that off, and that's gonna work well as a bridge. And then this little piece in front is going to work really well as the command center bridge. So, but we have something to do first, and we need to go to the painting table to do it. Okay, now in the next step, we're putting blue paint down on the plate, and I'm just going to mix all this together. I had some darker blue, so I needed to mix some white in. So I'm just going to mix this all up, and after it's done, I'll show you what we're doing next. Okay, so now I have the blue paint down, and that's going to be the water, because you can't have a rainforest without rivers and lakes and so forth. But what we're going to do next is really interesting, so hold on to your hat. Okay, so this next step you got to do really quick while the paint is wet. And what I'm doing is I'm putting saran wrap over it, and you'll see what I do in a second. Okay, so I'm putting the saran wrap directly on the blue paint. I'm actually using the blue paint almost as a glue as well, so it'll hold that down. And now I'm gonna go around and just trim it off where we don't want it. All right, so here it is. There's just saran wrap now on the blue, and you can see the saran wrap really makes it shine. It gives kind of an illusion of water. So, and I also cut the saran wrap that was around the center. That's gone too. So it's just where we want it. But as I said, the Angelou class is basically a rainforest starship. It has a rainforest in it. So now we've got the water, the rain, but now we need the forest. Now, where are we going to find the forest? Let's go outside. Okay, well here we are outside, and I said that we'd be able to find a rainforest out here, and look at that. Moss. Now you can spend a lot of money on lichen and moss and all sorts of fake grass and stuff, and Lord knows I have, but for a project like this, there's no reason you can't just go outside. And it's been dry here for the last several days, so I'm literally just gonna pull moss straight out of the ground. See that? See? And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna like lay down the moss here. I'm gonna put down some Elmer's glue, and we can just lay down the moss as we pull it. So I'm gonna lay down the first moss just to show you what I'm talking about. Okay, you see that? A little bit of moss right there? That's near where the walkway bridge is gonna be. And basically now we just need to put as much moss down as we can, but don't forget, make sure to have like leave openings for lakes and also for rivers, and I will do that, so I'll show you how it's done. All right, well, I put on all the moss, and I mean, what does it look like? It looks like a plate of moss, right? Also, we got to take care of these flowers on the outside. The Starship doesn't have flowers, unfortunately, on the outside, so I think I'm just going to go and I'm going to slather that in kind of a white, nice white color, and then we'll move on to the next step, which happens directly after that. So yeah, this is how you want to do it. You can see I left places of blue that you can see, and there's all this green moss, and that's supposed to be our forest. Okay, so let's go inside. We'll paint these flowers off, and we'll move on to the next step from there. Okay, well now I've got the, I painted over the pattern that was on this plate. It's not perfect, so what? There's nothing perfect about this model. I've never done this before. Okay, now the next step is to put in our walking bridge and our command bridge. So let's put in the walking bridge first, and then we'll do the command bridge. So I put down a nice thick bead of Elmer's glue, as you can see, and I'm going to put it into place, the walking bridge in place, and show it to you. Okay, and there's the walking bridge. It's attached just with the Elmer's glue, as I said. And now we're going to put in the command bridge, which is directly across. Okay, well, those two greeblies really did add something. Unfortunately, there's not too many greeblies on this thing. I've pretty much done it. So the next step in this is to put a dome over the whole thing. Now, how are we going to do that? Well, the only thing I have available that would work really well for that is saran wrap. I'm sure you have some at home. So I'm just going to use that again. We're going to use the saran wrap as the dome itself that will go around the ship. So yeah, so get a nice big piece of saran wrap and just wrap it around, and I'll show you how. Okay, well at this point I just have the saran wrap wrapped around. I'm going to make it tighter, but I'm also going to have to punch a hole in the center too, because that's the way it is. It's a donut ship. So see how I've got it back here? What I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue all along the rim, and then the saran wrap will glue to that, and then we'll be able to cut off any excess. I should show you this. What I'm doing is I'm first just like holding it down and pulling the saran wrap as tight as I can, and I can see that through that hole in the center. You can see that's pretty taut there. So now I'm going to put glue all around there, and I'm going to glue the saran wrap to that. All right, now as you can see on the other side, on this side I've glued down the saran wrap, and it's nice and tight. So, you know, is this a perfect dome? No. I mean, if we could have made a dome out of something else, that'd be cool. But you know, this is just readily available. It's easy to make. And next we just got to punch a hole through the donut, and then we're going to glue it down, the saran wrap down to the ring in the inside. So we'll do that next. Okay, well here's the top. Got the saran wrap over it. You can see the walking bridge, the inner ring, the command bridge, the forest all around, lakes, rivers, just as a rainforest should be. But this is also a Starship. So what do we need? We need a warp engine on the back. And this one has a kind of interesting one. It's, well, I'm going to have to find the correct greebly for it. So I'm going to do my best, and we'll get back to you then. All right, well, I found a greebly that looks sufficiently warpy. It's got that kind of blue color to it. And yeah, well, here it is. The Angelou class, otherwise known as the Flying Rainforest, from the 32nd Century United Federation of Planets. They had some other really crazy designs as well, but I thought this one would be fun because it just deals with so many different materials. As far as action figure playability, obviously there's none. The scale to this is just simply too small, but it makes for an amusing model, and you know, you can take it to the kitchen table at dinner time and people won't know what you're eating. Well, anyway. Okay, well, like I said, here's the Angelou class. She's done. I know you can do a better job than I can, so give it a shot. The Daddy Star Trek, signing off.